There are crazy plays in football, and then there are moments so rare, so ridiculous, so unbelievable that they feel completely impossible. The kind of plays that happen once and might never happen again. Today we're diving into the most one-in-a-million moments in NFL history. The fumbles that made no sense, the catches that defied physics, the plays that were so unlikely you could replay them 1,000 times and never see them again. And trust me, they only get crazier. Let's start with pure chaos. Ryan Tannehill drops back. He's under pressure, he gets hit, and the ball pops loose. That happens all the time in the NFL, but what happened next didn't. The ball hits the turf, bounces off one player, then another. Someone tries to grab it, misses, it ricochets backward. Another player kicks it accidentally, it pops up again. At one point, it looks like a pinball machine, bouncing in every direction possible. Both teams are diving, scrambling, swatting at it. No one can control it, no one can secure it. It changes direction so many times it almost looks scripted. And somehow, after what feels like 10 separate chances, Washington finally falls on it. A fumble is normal. That level of chaos, that's one in a million, but that's nothing compared to the catch that broke physics. You've seen one-handed grabs, you've seen toe-tap sideline miracles. But have you ever seen someone catch a football using another player's back? John Baldwin did exactly that. The pass was behind him, completely out of position. Most players would just let it fall incomplete. Instead, Baldwin reaches around, traps the ball between his hands and the defender's back, and somehow pins it there long enough to pull it in.
Did he catch that pinned against the defender's back? That is utterly incredible! Francis Owusu!
He basically used another human being as a catching tool. You couldn't teach that. You couldn't practice that. It was instinct, timing, and pure luck colliding at the exact right moment. And sometimes rare moments happen in the strangest ways. Jimmy Graham makes a tough catch and gets hit hard. Nothing unusual there. But when the play ends, something feels off. He's not getting up. The defender isn't either. Their helmets are stuck together, literally tangled. Face mask locked into face mask. They're frozen mid-field like statues. It looked like magnets had snapped them together. You could replay that collision 100 times and it would never happen like that again. But sometimes it's not even the other team causing the problem. In a Lions versus Bills game, a routine play turns into something bizarre. A player goes down, and somehow his face mask gets tangled in his own teammate's gear. They're physically attached to each other in the middle of a live NFL play. Not practice, not a blooper reel, a real game. The kind of freak accident that makes you wonder how something so specific could ever happen in the first place. And then there are moments that are rare for all the wrong reasons. Chris Boswell lines up for an onside kick. He tries to disguise it. He shifts. He sets up like he's going one direction. The strategy is clever. The execution? Not so much. He taps the ball, and it barely travels a few feet. It looks like someone who's never kicked a football before just nudged it forward. Officials are laughing. Players are confused. Boswell starts walking off the field before the play even ends. It wasn't just bad. It was historic level bad. Now imagine you're a fan watching your team in the red zone. The pass is thrown. The receiver scores. Touchdown. But wait, there's someone else in the end zone. Not a defender, not a teammate, a fan. Somehow during a Jaguars versus Texans game, a fan made it onto the field and was standing wide open in the end zone as the touchdown was caught. Security must have blinked at the worst possible moment, because I've never seen a random fan accidentally run better coverage positioning than professional athletes. And then there are moments that you wish you could unsee. During a live broadcast, cameras cut to a kicker on the sideline. He thinks no one is watching, but the camera zooms in, and it looks like he's relieving himself mid-game on the sideline during a nationally televised NFL matchup. That might be the most uncomfortable slow zoom in football history. Some rare moments are almost impressive in their absurdity. A rookie punter makes his NFL debut at AT&T Stadium, first punt of his career. The ball launches into the air and keeps going and going, and then it hits the massive stadium scoreboard hanging above the field. That scoreboard is enormous, and somehow on his first NFL punt ever, he nails it. You couldn't plan that if you tried. Then there's Cam Newton, quarterback draw. He takes off, he lowers his shoulder, he sees the goal line, and then he leaps, fully extended, arms out, flying into the end zone like Superman. It didn't look real. It looked like something out of a video game. The timing, the power, the hang time. It was one one of those plays that reminds you how freakishly athletic NFL players really are. But sometimes it's not the players, it's the coaches. Titans head coach Jeff Fisher didn't like a call, so he made his feelings very clear on live television with a certain hand gesture that cost him $40,000. That might be the most expensive middle finger in NFL history. And then there's Tyreek Hill. After scoring a touchdown, instead of celebrating the normal way, he grabs the cameraman's equipment and starts filming the crowd himself. Mid-game, he literally turned into the production crew. That's the only time I've seen a wide receiver double as a broadcast intern.
And Tyreek Hill is going to be penalized for that.
So I guess they decided it was a prop.
Running backs truck defenders every week, but one player took it to another level. He wasn't tackled by a defender. He ran straight through a referee, flattened him. The poor ref never saw it coming. Imagine explaining that bruise to your family. Kiko Alonso once grabbed a receiver midair and just carried him. Taylor Gabriel leaps for a catch, and Alonso catches him instead, holds him like luggage, walks several yards before bringing him down. That wasn't a tackle, that was transportation. And speaking of transportation,
by Kiko Alonso, watch this. He very easily could have gone off his feet and driven Gabriel into the ground.
DK Metcalf once got carted off the field. Fans panicked. Was it a serious injury? A torn ACL? Something worse? No, he just needed a bathroom break. He returned shortly after. That might be the only time in NFL history someone used the injury cart for digestive purposes. Kevin Huber once escaped pressure with a behind-the-back move that looked like something out of a basketball game. It didn't count. It didn't lead to points. But the move itself? Unreal. Then there was the Hail Mary that broke the internet. Kyler Murray scrambling, clock running down, 3 defenders in position. He launches it. DeAndre Hopkins jumps, snatches it over everyone. Game over. That's not just rare, that's legendary. But rare moments aren't always glorious. Mark Sanchez on Thanksgiving Day ran straight into his own teammate's backside and fumbled the ball. Returned for a touchdown. It was so iconic it earned its own name, the butt fumble. You could try to recreate that play 10,000 times, and it would never look that perfectly unfortunate again. And finally, one of the most painful, 1 in a million moments ever. December 2003, Saints versus Jaguars. 7 seconds left.
7 seconds to go. Brooks.
Saints down by 7. Season on the line. They throw it deep. Laterals begin. The ball changes hands again and again. Somehow they keep it alive. Somehow they avoid being tackled. Somehow they reach the end zone. Touchdown. One of the most miraculous plays in NFL history. All they need is the extra point to force overtime. Snap, hold, kick, missed. The miracle, undone. That's not just rare, that's heartbreaking. And here's the truth. Football has always been unpredictable. There was a time players didn't even wear helmets. Rival leagues tried to destroy the NFL. Teams nearly went bankrupt. The sport has always lived on the edge of chaos. And if history tells us anything, the next 1 in a million moment isn't far away. Because in the NFL, the impossible happens every Sunday.